Hello everyone. Today's yoga tutorial is an introduction to yoga for people with scoliosis. So it's inspired by a friend of mine, so you know who I'm talking about. Shout out to you. Some questions that people have asked me is if they can still practice yoga safely, especially with scoliosis. The answer is yes, though throughout this practice, I want to set the intention that yoga has not been scientifically proved to improve scoliosis, so the intention is all about acceptance. So everybody's body is different and each size of our bodies are different, so you're gonna feel different sensations on different sides of your body with the same yoga pose. So keep in mind that today is all about acceptance and improvement. So with that intention in mind, let's get started. We're gonna get started with our legs forward. So in a Tadasana position, which is a staff pose in yoga. So your legs are gonna be right in front of you when you sit down. And then make sure that we have a very generous bend in your knees, okay? And then we're gonna fold forward to complete the staff pose. So first, we're gonna take one breath in, to just lift through the crown of your head to be as tall as possible and try to feel like you're putting the equal amount of stress on both buttocks, okay? So breathe in, lift up, and breathe out, just gently fold forward with a generous bend in your knees, okay? So let's be here for 5 breaths. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward a little bit more. 3 more times. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward a little bit more. And it's totally fine that your back is not straight. We just want to stretch our spines a little bit here, okay? So one last time, breathe in, lift through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward a little bit more. Perfect. So that should have been 5 breaths already. Okay, once you finish that, you can bring your right foot to be touching your inner left thigh. Okay, so your right leg is in a bend and your left leg is straight or with a bend in front of you. Okay, so now you're in a one-legged staff pose, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna fold forward in 5 breaths. So be generous with a bend in your left knee. And let's, with 1 breath in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. 3 more times. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. Okay, 2 more times. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. One last time. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. Perfect. And slowly, maybe with the help of your hands, work yourself back to seating. And let's switch legs. So bring your left foot to be touching your inner right thigh, and your right leg is right in front of you. Okay, so it's perfectly fine to feel different on this side, right? But what you're trying to achieve is that you're trying to put the equal amount of weight on both sides of your hips, okay? And then you can have a generous bend in your right leg, and let's fold forward again in 5 breaths. So breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, fold forward. 3 more times. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold forward. 2 last times. Breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, fold forward. One last time. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold forward. And maybe with the help of your hands, you can walk yourself back into a cross-legged seated position. Perfect. And from here, we're gonna do some Marichi pose. So these are spinal twists, but relatively assisted. So do it at your own pace, but know that it's a pretty safe practice for you. Okay, so what you can do is to bend your right leg and position your right leg on the floor. And then bend your left leg on top of your right leg, so your left foot is on the outer side of your right thigh. Okay, and then we're gonna twist towards our left sides with this setup, okay? So breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and make sure your weights are equally distributed on your hips. And breathe out, twist to your left side. You can bring your elbow to your left knee to give yourself a little bit of support. Okay, and it's completely fine whichever degree you can twist to the left side, just kind of engage in that opening sensation in your chest. Okay, so let's be here for 4 more breaths. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out. Open your chest a little bit more to your left side. 3 more times. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, open. Lengthen, and breathe out, open, and breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, open. And then when you breathe in, you can bring your torso to be facing forward again, and then switch your legs. So your right leg is bent on the ground. Sorry, your left leg is bent on the ground, and then your right leg is bent on top of your left leg. Your right foot is on the outside of your left thigh. Okay, all right, and then we're gonna twist to the right side in 5 breaths. So breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, weight evenly distributed, and breathe out, twist to your right side. Okay, you can use your elbow to hook onto your right knee to give yourself some support. All right, and then your right hand can be on the ground behind your back to support you, okay? And no matter how many degrees, you can twist to the right side, just engage in that sensation of opening your chest to the right side, okay? So let's be here for 4 more breaths. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, twist a little bit more to the right side. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, twist a little bit more. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, twist a little bit more. 2 more times. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, twist a little bit more. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, open your chest a little bit more. And then with 1 breath in, come to face forward. And you could come into a comfortable cross-legged position. So that was a couple of spinal twists. Hopefully we'll get your spines warmed up, and then we're gonna come into a tabletop position, okay? So the only thing that you need to pay attention to, the only 2 things actually, are your shoulders are stacked right on top of your wrists, and then your hips are stacked right on top of your knees. And those are the only things that you need to remember, okay? All right, and just be comfortable, right? You can spread your fingers out to give yourself a very firm foundation. All right, and from here, let's do a couple of cat-cows to further warm up our spine. So breathe in, arch your back, look up, and breathe out, round your back, bring your head down. Let's do this for 4 more times. Breathe in, arch your back, and bring your gaze up. And breathe out, round your back, and bring your gaze down. 3 more times. Breathe in, arch your back, and bring your gaze up. And breathe out. Bring your gaze down and round your back. 2 last time. Breathe in, arch your back and look up. And breathe out, round your back. Bring your gaze down. Last time, breathe in, arch your back and bring your gaze up. And breathe out, round your back and bring your gaze down.
and then bring your spine into a neutral position. Check your alignment. Ideally, you're still keeping that two foundations of stacking, right? So shoulders on top of your wrists, and then your hips on top of your knees. Okay. And from here, we're really gonna press into our hands to come into a plank pose. Okay, so stretch your legs out. So still maintain that stacked alignment between your shoulders and your wrists. Okay, you just step your feet out so that you're elevated in. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the only thing that you need to pay attention to is the alignment of your shoulders to your wrists, and that's all you need to worry about. Okay, I'm gonna add one more thing, which is to engage your core. So tuck your stomach in to make sure that you're engaging and keep yourself elevated in this plank pose. Okay, so we're just gonna be here for 5 breaths. Okay, breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head still, and breathe out, root down through your hands a little bit more. 4 more times, breathe in, lengthen, breathe out, root down. 3 more times, breathe in, lengthen. I know it's challenging. And breathe out, root down. You can definitely take a break whenever you want, okay? And then let's do the last breath, breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, root down. Feel free to come back into a tabletop position, okay? So we're gonna transition into side planks, which is beneficial for strengthening your spines, okay? So you might feel that one side is very different from the other. So definitely challenge yourself to engage a little bit more on the side that is a little bit harder. Don't give up easily, right? That's how you improve. We accept and improve. Okay, so let's first come into a side plank on the right side. So from a plank position, you can bring your left hand a little bit more centered, right? So right beneath your face, okay? And then you can twist your torso to the right side, and then you can open your right hand up towards the sky. Okay. Check your alignment. So your shoulders should be stacked on top of your left wrist, and we're gonna be here for just 3 breaths because it's really hard, okay? But engage. If this is too challenging, feel free to come down to your knees. But once again, what's really important is to make sure that your left shoulder is stacked right on top of your left wrist, okay? So you can be in this kneel position for your side plank, but really tuck your stomach in, so engage your core, okay? All right, and then when you're ready, either kneels or in an elevated side plank. Let's be here for 3 breaths. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, root through your hands, okay? And breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, root and expand. One last time, breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, root and expand. And then you can bring your right hand down and bring your left hand down. And we're gonna come back into a tabletop position for a little bit for a little break. Okay, and of course, we're gonna do everything on the other side. Okay, so there's no balancing without practicing on both sides. Okay, so acknowledge that this side might be different, but we accept and improve, okay? So through a plank position, if you're not there, get there first. Check your alignment. Shoulders are stacked on top of your wrists. And then you can bring your right hand towards the center a little bit, so right beneath your face. And then you can open to the left side. Feet can be stacked, okay? And then your left hand will open up and points towards the sky. Okay, so you can either be here or you can bring your knees down into a knelt side plank. But what's important is to check the alignment between your right shoulder and your right wrist. Okay, so let's be here for 3 breaths. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out, expand. 2 more times, breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, expand. One last time, breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, expand. And you can bring your left hand down and come back into a tabletop position. Okay, so that is a very intense spine strengthening pose. So to relax our shoulders and wrists a little bit, so what you can do to your wrist is that you can flip your hand onto the ground. Okay, so the back of your hand can be onto your ground. With one hand, let's say your right hand, will just flip so that the back of your hand is on the ground. Okay, and then you can switch to the other side and do the same with the other hand. Okay, and then we're also going to stretch our shoulders out a little bit. So maintain the alignment of your hips stacked on top of your knees, but you can bring your hands forward into a dolphin pose for some shoulder stretch. Okay, so let's be here for 3 breaths. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out. Maybe sink a little bit more through your shoulders to really relax them. Okay, 2 more times. Breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, sink a little bit more. And one last time. Breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out, sink your shoulders a little bit more. Feel free to stay here for a little bit longer if you're interested. Otherwise, you can come back into a tabletop position. So lastly, we're just gonna do 5 cat and cows to cool down our spines. Okay, so remember, just focus on the alignment and stacking between your shoulders and your wrists, and then your hips and your knees. Okay, so let's do this. Breathe in, arch your back, and bring your gaze up. And breathe out, round your back and bring your gaze down. 4 more times. Breathe in, bring your gaze up and arch your back. And breathe out, round your back and bring your gaze down. 3 more times. Breathe in, gaze up, arch your back. And breathe out, round your back and gaze down. 2 last times. Breathe in, arch your back and bring your gaze up. And breathe out, round your back, bring your gaze down. One last time. Breathe in, arch your back, gaze up. And breathe out, round your back and gaze down. And then with one breath in, you can bring your spine to a neutral position. And then feel free to sit down in any position you like. But that was it, an introduction to yoga for people with scoliosis. So even if you don't have scoliosis, this is a great spine strengthening yoga sequence. And if you do have scoliosis, I hope that this practice has introduced you a little bit to yoga. And I hope that you are able to accept the differences in your body and let this be the beginning of your journey of exploration and improvement. Thank you so much for joining me in this journey, and I'll see you next time on the mat. Bye.